The Washington Park Zoo is a zoo located in Washington Park, Michigan City, Indiana, which covers 15 acres on a hilly sand dune close to the southeastern tip of Lake Michigan. The park and zoo were listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1991. The zoo exhibits more than 220 animals of 90 species originating throughout the world. Under the zoo's new assessment and initiatives plan, the zoo is being modernized so animals are exhibited in natural settings, surrounded by botanical plantings. Among the exhibits are grizzly bears and Bengal tigers, although neither was available on this day. The castle building exhibits various educational species like fennec fox, corn snakes, and a living beehive. The Winged Wonders has a walk-through aviary. The farm exhibits miniature domestic horses, donkeys, pigs, and goats, which may be fed by guests. In 1925, a retired animal trainer moved his brown bear, Jake, to the Washington Park lakefront in the hopes that the bear would get more visitors in the park and not be so isolated. Some additional animals and birds were brought to the park by the fire department, which at the time occasionally sheltered abandoned exotic animals, and the city had the beginnings of a zoo. Planning for a zoo board started in 1927, and the first board was appointed by city manager Albert Cuden in 1928. Hopes were that the zoo would provide recreation and education not only for residents of Michigan City, but also to the thousands who spent their summers at nearby resorts. The zoo was moved to its current location in the sand dunes overlooking the lake, and the zoo board began building new exhibits using only scrounged and donated materials. With the advent of the Federal Emergency Relief Administration, the Civil Works Administration, and later the Works Progress Administration, the zoo was completely redesigned. It is believed to be the only zoo in Indiana completely designed and landscaped by these agencies, with the WPA supplying labor as long as the zoo board could find the materials. 11 buildings in the zoo are on the National Register of Historic Places. Monkey Island was completed in 1934. This was an island with a surrounding moat, a high exterior wall, and an access tunnel for the animals from their indoor enclosures. Currently, the island houses a family of ringtail lemurs, and there are plans to renovate the exhibit in the future. An observation tower east of the zoo that overlooks the lake, and the castle that houses small mammals followed by 1937. A sign near the tower states, "At 70 feet tall, the imposing limestone tower has 92 steps, including a spiral staircase, to reach the top." The tower provides a spectacular view from its summit, which is about 220 steps above street level. There were actually 4 paths that lead to the tower from the zoo, but currently only one is open to the public. The observation tower sits on the top of Kaiser Dune and was built by the Works Progress Administration during the Great Depression. Construction began in 1935, continued through 1936, and the tower was dedicated May 5, 1937. The WPA provided all of the material for the tower except for the steel framing, which was donated by the South Shore Railroad. The chrome-plated ornament on top of the tower is a compression chamber from Michigan City's first fire engine. A feline house was constructed in 1977 using artificial artwork to create more naturalistic surroundings for the animals. A new elephant house opened in 1978 and housed the zoo's elephants until 1990, when a decision was made to stop exhibiting them, and the building was converted into an education facility. The 3 elephants resident at that time were relocated to the North Carolina Zoo, Half-Trunk Will Travel, and the Riddles Elephant and Wildlife Sanctuary. In 2004, the zoo opened a new main entrance, a new gift shop, and initiated repairs on the observation tower and the walk-through aviary in 2005. Opened the North American carnivore exhibit with grizzly bears, mountain lions, and river otters in 2007, and opened the Avian Adventure exhibit 2009, where visitors can feed parakeets and cockatiels. Starting in 1994, many of the existing flower beds were replanted or redesigned, while other areas of the zoo have been replanted to attract native birds and insects, or to provide dietary enrichment for the animals. While I found it to be a fairly small zoo in size, remember I'm accustomed to the Columbus Zoo, it was still an interesting and worthwhile place to spend a few hours, especially for families and animal lovers alike. The story of Michigan City's light station begins in 1835. The first light was a light on a tall post, located 100 feet west of the present lighthouse. In 1933, the light on the East Pier was electrified. On July 1, 1939, the Coast Guard took over the lighthouse service, and upon the death of Keeper Donovan in August 1940, they assumed charge of the light. In 1974, the Old Lighthouse was placed on the National Register of Historical Places because of its historical significant architecture and association with lake transportation. The Lantern Room was made accessible in 2007. Today, the light is still used as an aid to navigation, but the LED light is fully automated.